I feel that's what it is.
Okay, and how are things now? You know, really, are you also among the chunk of Nigerians that, you know, you've been restored somewhat?
Well, you know, what we experienced is what will bring our disaster recovery strategy into play. So we recovered quickly. We quickly had to find alternatives. So it's not a function of whether the internet was restored. It's a function of whether did we get the right alternatives quickly. So that is a disaster recovery strategy.
Talking about disaster recovery, Thursday, Friday wasn't a good, you know. Personally, I was left stranded. No cash, no internet and all of that. Many Nigerians too would have experienced that, and you could not even transfer or do any transactions online. Now, is this a wake-up call for us?
All right. I think, pardon me, let me construct the way so that people can understand properly.
Yeah.
Because at least for the first time, people need to understand the reality of how the internet actually works. The internet, we are just used to opening a browser on our phone and we connect. And that's all we probably know about the internet. Now, the internet is powered by a backbone, which powers our intercontinental data traffic. You know, for example, most of, if you find yourself trying to get something online, maybe you are accessing a resource from a payment provider in the US, or you are accessing a content from a content provider in another country, you are doing an intercontinental data request. Very important, you know that the internet is probably just a network of computers. You can see it as simple as that, like having a cable plugging one computer to another. That's in layman's terms, that's the best. And the intercontinental data cables are what powers the internet. Picture our electrical grid. I want to give you an analogy so you can understand how the internet truly works. Picture our electrical grid. We have the main grid where we have our cables. Then you want to connect your house to the main grid. Then you connect the cable from the main grid to your house. Then you want to connect your room to the grid in your house now. You connect it, then you want to connect a microwave in your kitchen to the kitchen. So basically there are levels of network infrastructure that continually connect us in hierarchical structures till it gets to your phone. Just picture it like that. Okay. So your phone is like the termination point where you quick request. Now you see, this backbone is not out of the ordinary to think that I have people say, how can Nigeria be dependent on one cable? We're not depending on one cable, for goodness sake. We're not. We're not depending on one cable. With 4 cables that seem to be cut, and which is normal. Cutting cables is not new. About 100 to 200 cables get cut every year.
But we don't experience the kind of outage that we experience.
I can't remember.
No, I mean cutting cables globally.
Globally, yes.
Norway had their share of experience in 2012. We had a lot. The Middle East had their experience. The cutting cables seem to be the reality of the internet because most of the time it's not due to sabotage. Most of the time.
Wear and tear. Could it be wear?
Yeah, it could be wear and tear due to the activities of the undersea, where the fiber is rumbling against the rocks or something, and where it could happen. It could be an anchor where a ship, for example, the incidents in Middle East, we had 2 ships impounded because it was discovered that it was their cable, it was their anchor that actually destroyed the fiber optic cable that supplied then. So it was normal. Also, we had an incident in Egypt where it was actually sabotaged, where Egypt arrested 2 people for deliberately trying to cut fiber optic cable. Now, we have a lot of cables coming into Nigeria, and we can't do without them. But I think instead of a wake-up call, this is a signal of our resilience in this country. I won't lie to you. I would give a pass mark to how we manage this situation from Thursday till now. It's an indication of how resilient we actually are when it comes to recovering quickly from a disaster.
Have we recovered?
No, we can't. We've not recovered. Let me explain something. You see, when you have a cable capacity and you have it truncated, it doesn't mean you are completely out. Yes, you are rerouted to another cable or rerouted to another capacity on a subscribed or borrowed cable.
Okay.
So, yes, we are currently not functioning at our maximum capacity, but to expect that we're back, we are not completely back, but we're not where we were. Because I remember at some point I couldn't even do anything. But now, some way, I'm getting a bit of bandwidth. Now, what you are experiencing, I must be very fair to the telcos. It's normal. It's not normal to have a cable cut. Nobody wants that kind of experience. But having unexplainable scenarios that causes a cable to be damaged on the sea is normal. I remember clearly the International Telecommunications Union at some point referenced a cable cut and said it was due to sabotage. They assumed, and it was later discovered it wasn't sabotage. So cable cut is normal, just that we are experiencing in Nigeria, and it's kind of strange to us. And some people have been asking us, should we move to satellite communication? And I'm one of those that believe the internet cannot do without the core backbone on the sea. Even satellite communication at some point terminates back to the main grid. So we can't do without that, yeah.
Right. Let's talk about losses now. Telecoms banks will, I wonder if you could quantify or talk about the quality of losses. Even, regular customers will also be reeling somewhat. But how much of a damage, has this period, cost us as a nation?
It's monumental. It's monumental, and we can't really quantify it accurately until we get a report. Now, I want to believe there are background activities going on right now, because it's good to assume as such, because NCC have put their word on this matter. The ministers have also put their word on this matter. And the reason why I say there are background activity, I believe they should start collecting data, and not just data based on cooking up numbers. You need to start investigating this damage, because I've realized nobody have at least tried to picture. Well, one told us the chance of it being a sabotage is slim, that because of the distance to shore and the depth. So but we need them to collect it and really publish what is the impact of this outage. Because yes, I told you it's a test of our resilience, which have shown we have capacity in this country. I won't lie to you. When this whole drama started on Thursday, as at the time it started, I got to discover around 5 p.m. And at the point, I couldn't even picture it was an undersea cable cut. I was just there, like, what's going on? And suddenly I realized, oh, there was an undersea cable cut, and my team were making calls to try and do a survey. Are you having internet issues? And we realized not everybody were having internet issues.
Even then?
Yes, even on Thursday. Not everybody, because the cables that were damaged, there are 4 of them, and we have more than 4 cables that branches into Nigeria. For example, we have the Google Equino cable, it branches into Nigeria. We have the Glow One cable, unaffected, it has no damage. So and there are some banks that had no disruption at all, because they were some are powered by another cable that was not main ones or the others. The only challenge I have is the speed with which main one absorbed itself of all this contractual obligation by declaring a force majeure. It's very challenging, because part of your responsibility as a provider is to provide alternative options, not just because you have a damage and you absolved yourself of the contract at that point in time. But I stand to be corrected. I hope one will do investigations. They will publish their reports. They will give us the alternative approaches. But we should also praise one, because if you look at it in a way that is not biased, one has been championing cable protection in this country for a long time. One have played a major role in making sure cables are protected when they terminate to landing stations ashore. They've done played a significant role in that. However, we need them to show us how, because you see, the way you react to a disaster and the way you position yourself when there's no disaster are 2 different things. We've always seen one as this big champion of cable protection. Now, for the first time, your cable is damaged. We are really interested in seeing what are the reports and the processes you will put in place going forward when this happens. I have no doubt that our cable is probably protected. I have no doubt that they are rerouting us and providing alternative capacity. But what we want is, yes, they've said they are going to do this. Will take months to fix. It doesn't get fixed overnight. It doesn't get fixed overnight, because a ship will have to go and bring the repairer, technicians, technically. One will also need to inspect the junction. There are a lot of things.
Under the sea.
Yes, this takes weeks, you understand. But what we want to see is publish your disaster recovery approach, because we are dependent on you as a nation. And 55%, above 55% of the world's internet data traffic is powered by undersea,